Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really quiet, everyday habit that is, well, it's secretly draining your bank account. I'm talking about a psychological trap we literally all fall into, totally unaware of the damage it's doing to our financial futures. It's the invisible cost of comparison. We think looking at what others have is just human nature, right? Like maybe it's even a bit of healthy motivation. But honestly, trying to keep up with the people around you isn't just exhausting, it is actively keeping you broke. Let's get right into it. Okay, picture this. You're sitting on your couch at the end of a really long day, just mindlessly scrolling through your phone. We all do it. But then, bam, you see it. A post from someone exactly your age. Maybe they just bought a brand new car. Maybe they're posting these gorgeous pictures from a lavish, month-long trip across Europe. Or maybe it's just a screenshot that says, finally hit 10 lakh rupees. And suddenly, without you even realizing it, something just shifts inside you. That relaxed scrolling completely stops, your heart rate takes up just a bit, you suddenly feel kind of behind, uncomfortable, maybe even a little stressed out. And that discomfort, it instantly creates this loud narrative in your head. I need to catch up. I gotta do more. I need to earn more. Just like that, this simple, fleeting moment of comparison quietly changes your entire financial mindset. It triggers an immediate psychological shift. Suddenly, you're willing to spend just a little bit more on your next purchase or take a financial risk you wouldn't normally even consider. Or it simply stops you from feeling satisfied with the perfectly good, amazing life you already have. So this brings us to part one, the invisible financial cost, and how perception completely distorts reality. Okay, let's dive into this with a really practical example. Imagine you and a friend earn the exact same salary. Let's say 50,000 rupees a month. From the outside looking in, you guys are totally equal, right? You make the same money, so you should theoretically afford the exact same lifestyle. Make sense? But here's the thing, income is only a tiny fraction of the story. Because behind the scenes, your realities could be completely opposite. Your reality might involve supporting your family or starting from absolute zero and paying off some past debts. Meanwhile, their reality might include zero financial responsibilities or getting early financial help from their parents. But our brains completely ignore these crucial hidden differences. When you see them buying expensive stuff or living a quote-unquote better lifestyle, your brain doesn't calculate the full picture. It just simplifies the whole shebang into one stressful, anxiety-inducing thought: they are ahead. And that intense pressure of thinking they're ahead leads to what we call the stealthy expense stack. See, comparison doesn't usually push you to go out and buy a massive mansion right away. No, it affects the small daily choices. You upgrade to a slightly more expensive phone. You order stuff you definitely don't need online. Yeah, we see you 2 a.m. Amazon purchases. You inflate your lifestyle just a tiny bit faster than your actual income can support. Each decision feels so small, so harmless on its own. But man, they stack up. This lifestyle creep quietly destroys your ability to build wealth because suddenly you're no longer spending based on your own actual needs. Let's look at two paths side by side. Person A, they focus completely on their own journey. They spend on true priorities, save consistently, and totally tune out the noise of what everyone else is doing. Person B, on the other hand, constantly compares. They adjust their lifestyle to match their peers, they feel this immense pressure to keep up, and they make emotional financial decisions. Now, at first glance on Instagram, both their lives might look exactly identical, but over time, person A is building rock-solid financial stability, and person B, well, they're really just building stress, because person B isn't managing money anymore, they are managing really expensive expectations. There's this brilliant quote that hits the nail right on the head. Comparison turns optional expenses into necessary expenses. I want you to just think about how profoundly true that is. You absolutely do not need something until you see someone else having it. Once you see a peer with that new gadget or that sleek designer jacket, suddenly acquiring it feels important. It feels urgent. It even feels entirely justified in your mind. That is the illusion of comparison doing its dirty work, literally tricking your brain into opening your wallet for something you didn't even want yesterday. Moving on to section 2, the highlight reel trap, and how identity actually drives our spending. Now, what's really interesting about this is the deeper truth. You are comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's highlight reel. You see the shiny new car, the lavish vacations, the luxury purchases, because, well, that's all they broadcast. What you don't see is the hidden debt, the silent stress, or those late-night financial struggles. So you're making critical, life-altering financial choices for yourself based on dangerously incomplete information. It's honestly like trying to win a race without even knowing where the track goes. Falling for this puts you into a mechanical, endless cycle. Step 1, you compare yourself to others. Step 2, you spend money to match them and kind of validate your identity. Step 3, you get that quick hit of temporary satisfaction. Yay! But then, inevitably, step 4, you compare again. Because here's the absolute biggest trap of the whole thing. The finish line keeps moving. There is literally always going to be someone earning more, spending more, and living bigger. Even if you stretch yourself to the absolute brink trying to catch up, it's never ever going to actually feel like enough. Think about it like this. You are running your own race. Looking sideways only slows you down. Imagine you're a runner on a track. You've got your own lane, your own specific pace, and your own destination. Now imagine trying to sprint while constantly turning your head to stare at the runners in the lanes right next to you. What's going to happen? I mean, you're going to lose your form. You're going to slow down. You might actually trip and fall flat on your face. And that is exactly what financial comparison does. Losing focus on your own path absolutely causes you to stumble financially.
All right, part 3, breaking the habit and reclaiming your path.
It is entirely possible to unhook yourself from this cycle, but, it requires deliberate action. So here's a 5-step action plan to help. First, recognize the trigger. Just notice when social media or certain conversations start that automatic loop in your head. Second, define your own goals based on your life and your priorities. That completely removes the need to compare in the first place. Third, change your benchmark. Instead of asking, am I ahead of others? Ask yourself, am I better than where I was last year? Fourth, limit unnecessary exposure to protect your focus. Just unfollow those accounts that make you want to spend. And fifth, focus on your net worth, not your lifestyle. I actually want to expand on that last point because it requires a complete paradigm shift. Visible lifestyle is really loud, and it's often entirely funded by debt. But quiet wealth, that brings real stability. It's the money you haven't spent. The people who look the absolute richest on your social media feeds are rarely the ones building actual lasting wealth. True wealth comes from staying completely focused, ignoring the noise, and resisting that constant urge to show off. So here's the big takeaway. Comparison doesn't just steal your happiness. It quietly, consistently steals your money. Every single time you make a decision just to keep up, you move further away from your own goals. So the next time you feel that sudden urge to compare, to catch up, or to prove something to the world, I really want you to pause and ask yourself honestly, is this decision for your future or is it for someone else's life? Because the moment you stop comparing, you stop overspending. And the moment you stop overspending, you finally start building something real, something that actually lasts. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.